coming back to the nervous system. So my first experience with money was when I was about, let's say 6. It was about that kind of age, 5, 6. And Mum had said, "Oh my God, you've spent all your money." And I assume, I can't exactly remember, that my sister obviously hadn't. And I remember this really, really, really sick feeling really ill. And to this day, it has imprinted in my nervous system that when I spend money, I actually feel sick. It's fascinating because the classic line here is, your body holds the score. Welcome to episode 8 of the Curious Bee podcast. It's been a little while doing heaps of work on myself as I am in this chapter of my midlife. This little nugget of knowledge has come about from looking at my nervous system, which I had no idea what my nervous system was. Rewind, let's say a year and a half ago. No idea at all. So this is talking about the nervous system, which is like, your fight or flight you'll hear people talking about, right? It's the, oh my God, something's triggered me and I'm gonna run or fly away, or something's triggered me and I'm gonna fight. It's like our raw animal instincts of how we're gonna react to something triggering and how long that's gonna how long that's going to be in our bodies, causing us stress. And then you've got all the other things that rock our nervous system in this day and age, which is a whole lot of toxins in our environment, in our air, in things that are sprayed on our food, our poor dear soils, which are being sprayed with glyphosate, which absolutely kills the life of our soils, which absolutely breaks my heart. But this episode isn't just about the nervous system in regards to how it affects losing our shit, or flying off the handle. That's what I was looking for. This episode is about our nervous system and its relationship to money. And I've just jumped on a 3-day course. I've only done day 1 with an amazing woman called Kate Northrop, and there's 2 days left, so I will put the link to it in the show notes so you can catch the replay and still jump on it, because she only does this once a year. So what she talks about in regards to the nervous system and money is that when you make a decision about money, it always comes back to something that's happened in your life that has imprinted in your body. So I'm going to give you a few examples around a dysregulated nervous system. Number 1, I actually can't relate to this one, but it's the classic overspender. So the one that, like, compulsive shopping. A few more examples which I can relate to with having dysregulation in this area. is being an overwhelm. Just feeling like you're spinning out. There's too much going on. You know, when you've got emails that the accountant needs to have information on, you're like, oh my goodness, how long is that going to take? And overworking, yup, especially in my last chapter of my life, being really neurotic about spending money. And I'm going to stop at that one and go into it, because coming back to the nervous system, so my first experience with money was when I was about, let's say, 6. It was about being really neurotic about spending money. And I'm going to stop at that one and go into it, because coming back to the nervous system, so my first experience with money was when I was about, let's say, 6. It was about that kind of age, 5, 6. Mum had given my sister and I some money and said, go down the road. And there was this like really cool little crafty shop. I was really into stickers and making my books look really, really pretty. All my school books looked amazing. They were like works of art. And I come back, I was so excited. Look. And Mum had said, oh my God, you've spent all your money. And I assume, I can't exactly remember, that my sister obviously hadn't. And I remember this really, really, really sick feeling really ill. The score. It does. It's like everything starts at your nervous system. And that's why I love this little circle that Kate, I just got to look at my notes, has put into it's actually an amazing workbook, that it starts like a little circle, starts at your body, and then so your nervous system is sitting there with this memory of all these things that you've experienced in your life that have made these little scars, these little imprints, and then they trigger an emotion, and then the emotion triggers like a way you're going to react to that emotion and how you're going to take action before you even make a decision and have a result around money. It's so, my favourite line, interesting. It makes so much sense, because I had another reflection on this, is that you can make fantastic money in the 3D traditional trading time for money world. Don't get me wrong. But it comes at a cost, especially as a woman, because we're not wired to work 9 to 5. We have a monthly cycle, and in our cycle it doesn't run 9 to 5, where men have a high shot of testosterone in the morning and it wavers off in the afternoon, and they're wired to be the hunter-gatherer and come home with the goods, right? But us women have days when we're just not feeling it and days when we're on fire, and it changes within the month. So when I say it comes at a cost for us women to work day in, day out, by the time we've cleaned up the house, we've dropped the kids at school, we've taken a breath, and then we sit down to do work, to do some work or go to work, 3 o'clock comes around, or 5, then we're back into another cycle of dinner and cleaning, unless we delegate all that off. But it doesn't really work. So coming back to why all this other work is so important to thrive in this new world, is that we're not designed to work in a 3D reality. That was a whole worker construct in this whole patriarchal world. By doing this inner work of sorting out all these things and then creating businesses, and that's why the online world is so fantastic. The internet has opened up this global access to an audience. It's phenomenal. So we can, through so many avenues, set up our 5D businesses so that they are running in the background. And you hear about automated businesses. It's all about delivering really valuable chunks of your genius, your gift, but not trading it for an hourly rate. So building these beautiful communities of your people, delivering little packages of goodness in the pockets of your time that you are in alignment and you're feeling it, and building it off that. Because otherwise, the cramming all the day in, day outs, working, it's just going to come at a cost on your nervous system. So the whole idea is to, just clean up all the damage that's happened since we were children, and then create this beautiful, I'm looking at this beautiful pyramid where we are in alignment. You're either protective or you're expansive around your money. So protector is like, how am I going to make more? And that whole, I've got to be safe rather than I'm going to trust because I've, done this work. And then as you go up this triangle into this very healed nervous system, this feeling that you can let money come in and out because you don't have the traumas, that's the whole goal. Just to really quickly sum up her triangle to being the abundant empress and sovereign human being in this world. So I'm gonna kind of not go into too much more. I just wanted to give you that little nugget. And actually the reason that I'm doing this podcast and stepping into this next chapter of my evolution work thing is that imagine a world where we all do the work on our trauma and on really sorting ourselves out. We would have so much less anger and drug abuse and alcohol people needing to escape by having to drink to have fun because they're not coping or they're burnt out. We would have so many more mums available for their children because they wouldn't be trying to survive in this world that's not designed for them. We would have a lot better relationships, less divorce, less arguments, less all that. And we would be a lot more connected as humans to our beautiful environment because we would have the time to actually look at the wonder of nature around us and then be a lot more sensitive to not having to, as I said, compulsively spend and think that the next this and the next that is going to give you that shot of happiness because you're so tired and you're just not coping. You have time to actually be with yourself and be okay with being with yourself. So that's what I'm here for. And as I learn and grow, I just want to share those things that are along my path and bring in people that have helped me on this journey and share products that I am supporting and that are bringing value and expansion into my life. So you're probably thinking, so that's all sounds really interesting. But next time something comes up for me around money, how do I navigate that without having the same behaviour and it limiting me from changing my current way I am to being this expansive, abundant, sovereign human? I can't tell you yet. That is in her part 2. So I might have to do a part 2 on this. So I'm going to leave you hanging. Oh, it is what it is. Over and out. I'm curious. Bye.